Ciao Bella! Welcome back to Reading with Bella. I don't know why I keep that receipt, but I always do, and I always stick it in the front of the book. So maybe sticking it somewhere else might be better, because it always falls out. So, we are back to Jabberwocky, the hair woman. And I want to apologize because I had a knock at the door in my last reading, and I thought I pressed the pause button, but I didn't press the pause button. I hit the stop button, and I read the title of the poem, but I didn't actually read the poem, the very last one. So just kind of cut off. I didn't say goodbye. I didn't say anything. And then I uploaded it because I was like, well, I think I said something along the lines of an ending, and then I rewatched it, and I was like, I didn't even say goodbye. Like, how rude, right? Okay, anyway. So, we will continue with Lewis Carroll, and this is the other half of the other early verse section. All right, so we will start with the one that I started but didn't actually read. So this is from Novelty and Romancement, A Broken Spell. When Desolation snatched her tearful prey. When Desolation snatched her tearful prey from the lorn empire of despairing day, when all the light by gemless fancy thrown served but to animate the putrid stone. Ew. When monarchs lessening on the wildered sight, crumbling vanished into utter night, when murder stalked with thirstier strides abroad, and redly flashed the never-sated sword. In such an hour thy greatness has been seen, that is, if such an hour had ever been. Been, because it's supposed to rhyme. In such an hour thy praises shall be sung, if not by mine, by many a worthier tongue, and thou be gazed upon by a wondering man, when such an hour arrives, but not till then. But it says man. It should be men. Sorry. It's not my poem. I didn't write it. All the other ones rhyme. It's okay. Okay. Alice. This is the next one. Alice, daughter of C. Murdoch, Esquire. I think that's so interesting, titles, because it says, right, Esquire there. I think that's interesting. O child, O new-born denizen of life's great city, on thy head the glory of the morn is shed, like a celestial benison. Here at the portal thou dost stand, and with thy little hand thou openst the mysterious gate into the future's undiscovered land. I see its valves expand as the touch of fate. Into those realms of love and hate, into the darkness blank and drear, by some prophetic feeling taught, I launch the bold adventurous thought, freightened with hope and fear, as upon subterranean streams, in caverns unexplored and dark, men sometimes launch a fragile bark, laden with flickering fire, and watch its swift receding beams, until at length they disappear, and in the distant dark expire. From The Legend of Scotland, Lorenzo dwelt at Heighington. Lorenzo dwelt at Heighington. His coat was made of dimity. Lestways ye've not exactly there, yet when ye'd clost proximity, he called on me, he stayed to tea, yet not a word he uttered, until I said, do you like your bread dry? And he answered, buttered. Noodle dumb has a noodle head. I hate such noodles, I do. The next one. Here I be, and here I bide. Here I be, and here I bide, till such a time as ye betide, that a lad of thy's place, like to me ye name and face. Though my name be never known, my initials shall be shown. Shall be photographed aright, head and feet be both in sight. Then my face shall disappear, nor again affright you hear. And these were written, I'm not finished with them, but they were written, I'll show you how I'm trying to get them back. So they're not written in modern English. They're written a little different spellings. In the Auckland Castell cellar. This is the next one. In the Auckland Castell cellar, long, long ago, I was shut a brisk young feller, woe, woe, all woe. To take her at full length, I never had the strength. Temper, and so I tell her, Praeterito. She was hard, oh, she was cruel, long, long ago. Starved me here, not even gruel, no, believe me, no. For Scotland could I flee, I'd give my last bobby. Ar, boys, fair play's a jewel. Love me, darlings, go. That was a little difficult. Into the wood, the dark, dark wood. Into the wood, the dark, dark wood. Forth went the happy child, and in its stillest solitude talked to herself and smiled, and closer drew the scarlet hood about her ringlets wild. And now at last she tread the maze, and now she need not fear. Frowning she meets the sudden blaze of noonlight falling clear. Nor trembles she, nor turns, nor stays, although the wolf be near. Who do you think that one was about? I think there was at least one hint. I could be wrong, but maybe. All right, Disillusioned. Yeah, I want to make sure it went on to the next page and it didn't just stop there. I painted her a gushing thing, her years perhaps a score. I little thought to find them at least 24 more. My fancy gave her eyes a blue, a curly auburn head. I came to find the blue a green, the auburn grown to red. I painted her a lip and cheek in the color like the rose. I little thought the self-same hue extended to her nose. I dreamed of rounded features, a smile of ready glee. But it was not fat I wanted, nor a grin I hoped to see. She boxed my ears this morning. They tingled very much. I own that I could wish her a somewhat lighter touch. And if you were to settle how her charms might be improved, I would not have them added to, but just a few removed. She has the bear's ethereal grace, the bland hyena's laugh, the footsteps of the elephant, the neck of the giraffe. I love her still, believe it, though my heart its passion hides. She's all my fancy painted her, but oh, how much besides. It's interesting how things change when we care for someone, right? You see with different lenses there. Those horrid hurdy-gurdies. My mother bids me bind my hair and not go about such a figure. It's a bother, of course, but what do I care? I shall do as I please when I'm bigger. My lodging is on the cold ground. As the first floor and attic were taken, I tried the garret but once, and found that my wish for a change was mistaken. Ever of thee, yes, ever of thee, they chatter more and more, till I groan aloud, oh, let me be, I've heard it all before. Please remember the organ, sir. What? Hasn't he left me yet? I promise, good man, for its tedious burr, I can never forget. Ooh. Prologue. So this is part of those horrid hurdy-gurdies. As when an anthem in full chorus swell has swept away one solitary note, dreamy and low, as chime of far-off bell through the deep silence trembling doth float. As when the sun in crimson clouds of even has sunk from sight and all the hills are grey, a feeble ray yet lingers in the heaven, a smile upon the face of dying day. So when the voices of the sons of song have rolled in thunder o'er a trance nation, when silence falls upon that glorious throng, and men are hushed in awful expectation, let Cam and Isis with a tuned flow through the dumb aching void prolong their strain, lest the vast music that enchains us so, with sudden pause the listening ear should pain. The next one is, this one's, it's not really long, but it's like 3 pages. Okay, yeah. So we have this one and then one more, but they're both kind of lengthy for what one might consider a poem. This one is The Majesty of Justice, an Oxford Idyll. They passed beneath the college gate, and down the high went slowly on. They spake the undergraduate to that benign and portly dawn. They say that justice is a queen of awful majesty, yet in the papers I have seen some things that puzzle me. A court obscure, so rumor states, there is called Vince Cancellari, who keeps on undergraduates. Vice Cancellari. I'll start that over. A court obscure, so rumor states, there is called Vice Cancellari, which keeps on undergraduates, who do not pay their bills a wary eye. A case, I'm told, was lately brought into that tiniest of places, and justice in the case was sought, as in most other cases. Well, justice as I hold, dear friend, is justice neither more than less. I never dreamed it could depend on ceremonial or dress. I thought that her imperial sway in Oxford surely would appear, but all the papers seem to say, she's not majestic here. The portly Don he made reply, with the most roguish of his glances, perhaps she drops her majesty under peculiar circumstances. But that's the point, the young man cried, the puzzle that I wish to pen you in. How are the public to decide which article is genuine? It's only when the court is large that we for majesty need hunt? Would what is justice in a barge be something different in a punt? Nay, nay, the Don replied amused, you're talking nonsense, sir, you know it. Such arguments were never used by any friend of Jowett. Then is it in the men who trudge, beef-eaters, I believe they call them, before each wigged and ermine judge, for fear some mischief should befall them? If I should recognize in one, through all disguise, my own domestic, I fear 'twould shed a gleam of fun, even on the Majestic. The portly Don replied, Amen! They can't exactly be its essence. I scarcely think the want of them the majesty of justice lessens. Besides, they always march awry, their gorgeous garments never fit. Processions don't make majesty. I'm quite convinced of it. Then it is in the wig it lies, whose countless rows of rigid curls are gazed at with admiring eyes by country lads and servant girls. Out laughed that bland and courteous Don. Dear sir, I do not mean to flatter, but surely you have hit upon the essence of the matter. They will not own thy majesty of justice-making monarch's bow, unless as evidence they see the horsehair wig upon her brow. Yes, yes, that makes the silliest men seem wise, the meanest men look big. The majesty of justice, then, is seated in the wig. Okay. This is the last one of other early verse. Yeah. and it is entitled Miss Jones. 'Tis a melancholy song, and it will not keep you long, though I expects it will work upon your feelings very strong. For the agonizing moans of Miss Arabella Jones were warranted to melt the hearts of any paving stones. Simon Smith was tall and slim, and she doted upon him. But he always called her Miss Jones. He never got so far as to use her Christian name. It was too familiar. When she called him Simon dear, he pretended not to hear, and she told her sister Susan he behaved extremely queer, who said, very right, shows his true affection. If you prove your Simon's love, follow my direction. I'd certainly advise you just to write a simple letter, and to tell him that the cold he kindly asked about is better. And say that by the Tanyard you will wait in loving hope at 9 o'clock this evening, if he's willing to elope with his faithful Arabella. So she wrote it and signed it and sealed it and sent it, and dressed herself out in her holiday things, with bracelets and brooches and earrings and necklace, a watch and eyeglasses and diamond rings. For man is a creature weak and impressible, thinks such a deal of appearance, my dear. So she waited for her Simon beside the Tanyard gate, regardless of the pieman, who hinted it was late. Waiting for Simon, she coughed in the chilly night until the tanner found her, and kindly brought a light old coat to wrap around her. She felt her cold was getting worse, yet still she fondly whispered, "Oh, take your time, my Simon, although I've waited long. I do not fear my Simon dear will fail to come at last, although I know that long ago the time I named is past. My Simon, oh charming man, dear Simon Smith, sweet Simon Smith. Oh, there goes the church clock, the town clock, the station clock, and there go the other clocks, they're all striking 12. Oh, Simon, it's getting late, it's very dull to sit and wait, and I really am in such a state, I hope you'll come at any rate, quite early in the morning. Then with prancing bays and yellow chaise we'll away to Gretna Green, for when I'm with my Simon Smith, oh, that common name, oh, that vulgar name. I shall never rest happy till he's changed that name, but when he has married me, maybe he'll love me to that degree that he'll grant me my prayer, and will call himself Clare." So she talked all alone as she sat upon a stone, still hoping he would come and find her. And she started most unkimmin when instead of darling Simon, 'twas a strange man that stood behind her, who civilly observed, "Good evening, ma'am. I really am surprised to see you're out here all alone, for you must own from thieves you're not secure. A watch I see, pray lend it me. I hope the gold is pure. All those rings and other things don't scream, you know, for long ago the policeman off from his beat has gone. In the kitchen, oh, you desperate villain, oh, you treacherous thief!" And these were words of her anger and grief. "When first to Simon Smith I gave my hand, I never could have thought he would have acted half so mean as this. And where's the new police? Oh, Simon, Simon, how could you treat your love so ill?" They sit and chatter, they chatter with the cook, the guardian, so they're called, of public peace. Through the Tanyard was heard the dismal sound. How on earth is it policemen never can be found? And that is the end of Other Early Verse. I apologize when I paused as they were talking about her talking all alone and sitting upon a stone. All that went through my head was Little Miss Muffet. If you've never heard Little Miss Muffet, sat on her tuffet, eating her curds and whey. Along came a spider and sat down beside her, scaring Miss Muffet away. That's all I thought about. So it took me a moment to get back. My mind went, wee! Okay, so that is the end of that section. And the next reading is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. So that is where you will find me next time. And until then, be the change you wish to see in the world, everyone. Ciao, Bella!